Hi, and thank you for joining me for another tutorial by dollardemo.net. If this tutorial helps you, donate a buck on our website. Okay, so today we're going to tackle an area that will affect you if you're trying to get into the world of programming modules for specifically Joomla. Now, Joomla has a tutorial on how to get started trying to program modules. However, I've noticed that tutorial in some ways, or in many ways, is incomplete, or at least it's not detailed enough to get you actually up and rolling. So today I'm going to run you through this tutorial, the mod_hello world tutorial, and I'm going to connect it to a database also. Now, the tutorial they offer gives you the option of just creating a regular module or creating a module that connects to a database. So we're going to attack the one that connects to a database, because like I said, that step-by-step tutorial that we're actually going to be using from their website seems to either be unclear, and there's actually a few steps it skips. But here at dollardemo.net, we figured it out for you, and if you just sit back and enjoy, we will take care of this for you. Okay, now I'm going to be using Dreamweaver, and I'm going to be using Notepad. All this could be done in Notepad. I just like Dreamweaver because it makes it easier to save files to one location and sort of puts everything right in front of you. Okay, but it's really not necessary. You could do all this with Notepad. So first, we have to locate their tutorial before we actually get started. So let's see. Like if you just do a create Joomla module here, creating a simple module. Now, the one I'm going to be creating today is one for Joomla 3 and above. Okay, so you go down here, creating a simple module, Joomla 3, and you pretty much go step by step. Let's start with the introduction. Okay, all this stuff you could read on your own. Next. So here's where the programming actually begins. So what we're going to be doing is copying and pasting their files, but like I said, for some reason their files are not complete, or it's not explained well enough to actually get the program to work, or the module to work. Okay, so what we're going to do is first create a folder. Let me go ahead and clean up my desktop a little bit here. We're going to create a folder that's going to house all these files that we're going to be creating for us. Okay, so go ahead and call the folder whatever you want. We're going to call it module_hello world, which is what they named their module. Okay. Now I'm going to open Dreamweaver. Again, you could do this with any editor. Notepad also works. As a matter of fact, we are going to be using Notepad, at least for the SQL portion of it. PHP. Okay. So in the beginning, there's a lot of copy and paste. So what it's telling you here is that you're going to create a page called mod_hello world.php, and this is what you're going to be putting into that page. So let's go ahead and do that now. And remember what you're going to be calling it, which is this right here. Let's locate that folder. Here we go. Next, go down the line, create a file, the helper file, helper.php. Let's go ahead and copy that code. All I'm doing to create a new file quickly in Dreamweaver is hitting Control N, and to save it, I'm hitting Control S. But you could do this all from the file menu up here. Okay. So this is going to be helper.php. I guess we just typed that out. Control S to save it. Helper.php. Next. Creating your default PHP, but this is going to be done in a folder called template that you're going to create in your directory. So new PHP. Okay, we're going to save that, but we're going to put it in a folder called templates. TMPL. Enter, enter. Now this is default.php. Okay, next. Now there's going to be a few steps with this .xml file, because this this tutorial here on the Joomla website is actually, it first starts off creating a regular module that doesn't connect to a database, and then it continues connecting that actual module to a database if that's what you wanted to do. So there's going to be a few steps that are going to be a little redundant, but I really don't want to skip any portion for anyone watching out there. So anyways, we're creating a .xml file, so let's go ahead and copy this. Control N, XML. Now the only reason I'm choosing like the actual file type here, like any of these file types will work, is that the good thing about Dreamweaver is that it checks the code for you to make sure there's any parameters off that won't allow the code to work or compile. Okay. So this is what we're saving it as. mod.helloworld.xml. Now, don't forget to get out of that template folder into your root folder. Okay, moving on. Okay, so here it's telling you to create two more files. Index.html in your directory and an index.html in your template folder. And this is what goes in that body. So let's go ahead and create a new one. HTML. We're going to highlight this here. Okay, so remember it's index.html. I'm just going to go ahead and just copy it so I don't have to type it out. Control S. So we're putting one in here. Boom. Save. Now we're going to do Control Save As. And we're putting it in template. Okay, so we have two. One that's in the root directory, see how it says here, and one that is in the template directory. Next. Okay, so here's where it gets a little tricky. Now this is if what it's telling you here is that what we created before, or what we just finished doing, will get the module up and running. But from here on is this portion of their tutorial is if you want to use the database and tables connected to your module. So we're going to modify the .xml document we just created with this information here. Okay, so we're going to copy that. Going to go back to .xml. Now, you're going to put this all within the extension. Here, before closing it. Okay. So we're going to paste that here. However, what they don't tell you is that if you're using MySQL, which is pretty much what everyone's using, or a derivative of it, you won't need this file. And you won't need this file. And really, this whole updates portion is really optional. So update, you won't need that file either. Okay, install. That looks pretty good. Okay, next. Now we have to create the SQL files. Now these I'm going to do in Notepad. Okay. However, these, as you can see here, has to go in their specific directories. So you have to create an SQL directory or folder, and then a MySQL directory within that, and then place your file in that. So let's go ahead and just start creating the file. Okay, file save as. Okay, so remember, first you have to create a SQL directory. Then create a MySQL directory and place it in there. Don't forget what you're going to call it, which is this here. And don't forget to save as all files and then save. Boom. Okay, next. Okay, so what it's telling you here is to create an uninstall file. Alright, just double check. Yeah. If you go through it too fast, you'll miss it. But it's pretty much telling you to copy the file name for the uninstall file from up here. Okay, we're in the right directory. All files, don't forget, and save. Next, going down the line, making the request in the helper file. Now, just let me get back here to this XML file for 1 second here. Now, let me check something out here. Okay. I guess we'll get back to that XML file. There's something really important you have to know. Okay, making the request in the helper file. So go ahead and copy that. Helper file is over here. So this is going to go right over here. Okay. right? So let me double check. Yeah, that should be right. Okay. If it's not right, we'll fix it at the end, but it should be right. So I deleted that extra item there. Okay, next. So let me do that again, just in case you missed it. So you highlight all this here, and then you paste it. Paste what you copied from over here. Okay, now adding the form fields. These are the fields that are going to be in your module from the back end of Joomla. Okay, so this is what you're going to paste in your XML file. Copy. Let's see. Okay, so here it says, remember those config tags that we added in earlier? Well, inside these tags, we're going to put in this code. Okay, so the config files, the portion that says config is in here, right here, config. So we're going to add this here. Next. Okay, and then for some reason it just leaves it like that. In other words, there's a lot more things that are missing from this .xml file for it to actually work. So I'm going to go back to one I did earlier. Okay. Okay, right here. Just going to open this with Notepad. Okay, just let me run you through this. What this XML file is telling Joomla to do is to create or to move all these files into the directory of the website that you're working on. However, it seems like it's missing a bunch. So what you're going to do, you see how compare this with this. If you want, you could pause the video and just type it all out. What I'm going to do is and one thing it also fails to mention is the creation of folders. Here it does not state, I mean it says to place it in the template folder, but I don't think so, at least. I mean, I haven't tested it, but actually I did test it. This does not create a template folder. This places it in the template folder, but where's the creation of that folder? See this tag here? So this moves the file. However, this tag here, the folder tag, it creates folders. So that is what you need to put before you can move the folder there, right? You see where it says template, or the creation of the template folder, and then it moves the actual file that's in that template folder. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy my code here. Okay. So that without that little piece of information, this file will not work. Next, let's see. I think that's pretty much it in terms of this XML file for it to work. Oh well, there's also something else here that they won't tell you. That you see where it says select ID as value. Now, you'll see this at the end of the video, that if you leave this like that, from the three options that the form on the field allows you to choose from, whenever you choose one of those options, it's supposed to display a text. If you just leave it as ID, it's just going to display the ID of that text, either 1, 2, or 3. But anyways, that you have to change to lang. Where is it? Actually, I'm sorry. You have to change it to hello. That's what we're going to do here. Hello. Okay. Now, moving on with the tutorial. Now, this is another complicated part, which it's really hard to understand according to the language they have down here. And that's, where does this portion actually go? Now, what it's telling you to do, as a matter of fact, I mean, I'm gonna have to look into my notes. I don't remember exactly. Okay, I'm gonna open up this helper file, this notepad. Okay, so here's where it goes. Right next to the return, before it says obtain a database connection. Let's go back here, copy this, go to the helper file, put it after the return, but before the obtain. Okay, next. Okay, so now here that we have to edit the bottom of that file from obtain down. So we're going to go ahead and just copy this. Remember, from obtain down. So let's go ahead and, well, not all the way down, but to at least result. Because there's another thing it's not going to give you, which is these closing brackets that you need, or then it won't compile. See, no closing brackets. Closing brackets here. Okay. Next. Well, according to this, the code should work now. So let's go ahead and save all here. Now, all these module files have to be compressed into a zip file in order to upload them into your Joomla installation. I don't think they tell you that either. Doesn't really matter what you name the zip file, by the way. So just let me take a look at the folder we have, make sure that's okay. Let's see. Looks good. Let's try it. We're going to zip it. I'm just using the regular Windows zipper here. Again, I mean, you could call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it module hello world. Okay. Now, this should work. Let's go to our database here. Okay. So it should appear. I'm going to place it here in the breadcrumbs. So first, let's go ahead and upload it. Okay. So when you're in your Joomla installation, right, your website / administrator, whatever, you go to extensions, extension manager, and then you'll see this. Here's where you upload your modules through. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. Oh no. I know what happens. Okay. Let me just go back into the tutorial. And I mislabeled an SQL file. Okay. Which was here. This is why this is a bit confusing. We're using a MySQL database, not a SQL database. So the file should be named this. Let's go back into MySQL and see. Like I have it named differently. So let's just rename it completely. Actually, let's close it first. Now let's rename it completely. Hello? Hi, how are you? Okay, I'll check. Sure. Well, this week, like today? Okay, fine. Mhm. Okay. I think so. No, no, she is set up. I mean, Anita's definitely set up. Yeah. I mean, no, I mean, like, I remember setting her up. I don't know if, like maybe it turned off or something, but, like, she should be set up. Okay, no problem. Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and rename it completely now to that. Just going to delete this old installation file and rezip. Again, you can name it whatever you want. And let's try again to upload. Okay, installation of module was successful. Let's give it a try. Extensions, modules. Here we go. Hello world. Let's make sure it works. Here's that drop down we created, which should pretty much say hello world in 3 different languages. We're going to publish it. We're going to place it in the breadcrumbs. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Click save. Go back to the site. And it doesn't appear. Okay, there's one step we forgot. Menu assignment on all pages, or you could define it how you like. Save again. Refresh. Beautiful. It's over here. Let's go ahead and change the language to Spanish. Save. Refresh. Beautiful. Here. Okay, now if we didn't change, let's see, if we didn't change, where is it? Give me a second, I'm trying to find this file. Might be in the XML. Yeah, if we didn't change this to hello, it would be giving you a number here, and which is the ID of this field of MySQL, not a name, which is, I mean, I figure what they wanted to do. I mean, they want it for you, like for the name to come out, not the ID number. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We just solved the mod underscore hello world issue that many people have been having or have had when developing their first Joomla module. Okay, if this tutorial helped you out, donate $1. Go to $demo.net. Okay, great.